Hello my friends, I am G Hondo and welcome back to our Let's Play of OpenTTD Season 2. This is episode 30. In episode 29 we went ahead and completed the section of this track, well road I guess, for this route for valuables from Placide to Pudwell. And while I was at it I added, so we have valuables going all the way, and then we have passengers and mail just going to Great Avonborough, because I already did a passengers and mail route between Great Avonborough and Placide Marsh. So any passengers or mail that's to go all the way can just transfer right there. So, but they do that all by themselves. I'm not setting up a manual transfer route because there's no need to. All right, well, let's go. The other thing we did is we went and had a look at, where did it go? The Liversay Bridge route. And for now, I'm skipping it, just because there's no cities nearby with any serious size. The biggest city nearby is here, and that's still a pretty long way. So I'm temporarily going to hold that one off, unless we either get a new vehicle or we've blasted enough of the debt down that it seems worthwhile. But at this point, I'd rather just skip it, or at least put it on pause, and blast away more of this debt first. So anyway, that is where we are at. So let's pop in there. I guess we can watch our hub city of Great Avonborough here. This section here is going to be very, very busy between the stuff coming in from here and the stuff coming in from here. But I did make us a circuit of roads, so stuff can kind of use that as a circle to turn around as they need to and accomplish whatever they need to. So that should be good. And then we're just continuing in the meantime to blast away our debt here. I'm deliberately making sure we always keep at least a little bit of money on, so any vehicles that reach their age can be replaced without any hassle or complaint. And this is good. So we're overall at a very good spot here. And you can tell last year I spent about 330 grand between building the route and the vehicles for it, and we still eked out a profit for the whole year. So we're at a point where we're, generating about 300 grand a year, give or take 250 to 350 range. It'll be hard to ever see that here, just because there's almost always, because I have so many vehicles, there's almost always going to be some that are aging and get replaced. But still, this is just fantastic. We are finally at a good place. Far, far better than we were even 5 or 10 episodes ago, so I like it. For those who have been watching the whole series all along, you of course remember back then it would be, I'd be lucky to chip away 2 pieces of 2 clicks of the 20,000 in a whole year, whereas now I click 5 at a time, and I do that once or twice a year. So absolutely fantastic. We'll blast through this in no time. And we're doing so, we're rocketing through the years. We started, a couple of years ago, we started getting a bunch more Steam vehicles. Some of them are decent, many of them aren't, but the fact that we're getting more and more vehicles appearing to us is only a good sign, because that means that we're getting closer and closer to having just a ton of choice. And that's where, in my mind, the game really takes off. So, no, I was about to make a terrible airport joke. No, when you get airplanes, that's when everything takes off. Anyway. I apologize for such a terrible, terrible pun. But anyway. I am really mostly looking forward, actually, to trains. At this point, I even wouldn't turn down being able to build an actual boat. Just for something other than a road or streetcar, because I have built a few of those. They're okay, great, thank you. They're not anywhere near as good as actual trains, but they at least give me a little bit of that same feeling. But shouldn't be too much longer, I wouldn't think. I could be wrong, of course, but I don't think it should be. I just can't remember for sure if the base game starts at 1900 or 1950. If it starts at 1900, then we know we'll definitely have trains soon after. But if it doesn't start until 1950, I'm not sure, because I don't know what all that this mod's added. It clearly added horses back to, you know, well before that, but I don't know if when it adds trains, if it even does. So we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, yeah, quite a few more renewals are popping through, and we're still well over 2. So if we mentally deduct this off of here, we're at about 350 for the year. So nothing wrong with that at all. And welcome to 1883. I don't think we're actually going to complete this Pudwell Valuables mission unless I add an absolute stack more vehicles. So it'll probably just end up expiring while it's, partially done, but that's okay. It was enough to get me motivated to actually build the route, and that route's going to be very profitable, so it'll be fine. In fact, if we look at this, now that it's had time to actually go back and forth a little bit, you can see, yeah, it did fine last year. So, excellent. And everything is flowing smoothly. I could, in all reality, do this little iron ore one, because it does want so little, but I'm just loath to get involved in anything finite at this point. So, I'm not entirely sure when I'm going to flip back and actually start doing those kinds of missions again. Maybe when we get trains, because at least then that feels, more viable. I'm not 100% sure on how finite resources are decided, like when it decides that they're going to go up or down or get closed. I think it has something to do with not only how much you're actually drawing out of it, but how often. Because I noticed when we were using a bunch of, horse-drawn vehicles, we would still be drawing about the same amount per year as, one decent train would, but we were, going in and drawing those out far more often, and I think that might have been why they kept shutting down so quick. So I'm thinking, and I could absolutely be wrong, I am just purely guessing here, but I'm thinking what happens is it's a combination of how much you're drawing and how often. And if I'm right, once we get trains, these things will be getting drained just as much, but only, one at a time. Then there's a long delay while the train's gone, and then once, as opposed to having, 5 or 10 vehicles, so it's constantly being hit for a little bit over and over and over and over. That's my guess. I could be right, I could be wrong. I have no idea. So, that means all I can do is guess. So, but either way, assuming that that's even close to accurate, waiting for proper trains will be the right answer on to when to start doing these other kinds of missions. So, that is what we're going to do. Go ahead and ship down some more debt again. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Actually doing pretty well even on this enormous mail mission. So this is a good thing. Wow, has this city ever grown? Look at that. That's ridiculous. That's a full-on metropolis in this game. In fact, it's basically impossible now to tell for sure where Meatown ends and Dragner End begins. I mean, obviously the game knows where it is, but just looking, I couldn't tell you where that is. Wow. That's amazing. If I really wanted to, I could very easily plunk in a few more stations, and because what basically has happened is I added a bunch of extra track and stations and effectively was doing a little passenger, almost like running a bus service for the city. Although they've grown so much, I would have to plunk in, what, probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 or 7 more stops just to have decent coverage again. Wow. That is a bit crazy. I mean, I certainly could do it, but in this game, I don't know, it doesn't seem as easy to do as some other games. Like, for example, Train Fever, you almost are expected to do that sort of thing, because that's how you make all your money is, you know, building stuff inside the city, like little passenger buses and what have you. In this game, you certainly can do it, and it is profitable, but it's so much more difficult because it's so hard to see the streets. Um, like, I can't tell, I mean, I'm guessing these are all connecting, but I can't prove it to you. I have no way to see it, really, so. Either way, though, this level of growth is just incredible. Well, even this one's grown a little bit. Still is dwarfed by its cousin here, but still, that's very good. Oh, we can chip away a bunch more here. Excellent. So, good stuff. Okay, so yeah, you've upgraded these all to the little passenger trams. Well, not all of them, but some of them. You can see some of them are still on the horse and carriage because they haven't reached age yet. I told that one to just upgrade them when they reach their age, not to force an immediate upgrade. I will do an immediate upgrade if something is better in all 3 categories: speed, capacity, and reliability. Well, 4 I guess could cost as well, but I don't think you'll ever get that. But generally speaking, these things are only slightly better in 1, maybe 2 categories, so I just let them replace when they age out. If ever it offers me a vehicle that completely wows me, that might change, but generally speaking, there's no need to ever do the replace immediately. But anyway, I think we're doing quite well here, and we're just about to say goodbye to 1883. And there it is, 1884 begins. Absolutely fantastic. Let's chip that down some more. Excellent. Yeah, this is good. It's been a while since this has been below 80, because it's been a long time since that's been below 2 mil, to be honest. I had originally at one point got down to, I think, 1.4, but then at that point, all my vehicles were getting so old and breaking down so often that all my routes were failing. That was before I fixed up the property maintenance, so I was still paying a lot more of that, and the road vehicle income was plummeting. So overall, we were actually taking a loss year over year, so I had to invest a lot more debt to get all that fixed up, but I'm glad I did. It was absolutely worthwhile. And now that we're keeping up with the maintenance by letting them auto-renew, because I had shut that off as well for a while, thinking that would help, but it actually made it worse. So now that we're keeping up with that, the road vehicle income shouldn't ever really drop off, because you never really ever run out of passengers' mail or valuables like you do with iron or wood or what have you, so it's all good. A new mission that popped in was a sawmill mission, which I'm going to ignore for now. And that will be fine. Can chip away another pile here. Excellent. And we are making absolutely stellar progress here. I am very, very happy with how we're doing here. The only thing that would make me happier? A train. But those will show up soon enough, I'm sure of it. Of course, I've been saying that every 5 or 10 years since about 1860 or so, but either way, maybe even sooner. I started whining about the lack of trains right back in 1802, so that's okay. We'll get there. These little streetcar I'm quite glad I added that streetcar mod in so we can have these little guys here. They're not quite as good as actual trains, but I do like them. So they're kind of like a good little bridge between real trains and just general road vehicles. You'll break you down a fair bit. Oh, you were short on maintenance. Okay, now it's fine. Excuse me. We're getting close to another chunk of debt going away. That's a very good thing. I'm not going to set myself an actual goal. I had set myself a goal of chipping away 100k off the debt per episode, quite a bit episodes back before that whole debt spiral thing I talked about. And I kind of wonder if maybe I somehow jinxed myself or something. I don't really know. So I'm going to not officially make that a personal goal, and instead I'm just going to chip it away as I can and not really worry about it too much. And I think that'll be a lot better. I'm not the superstitious type, so, the concept of jinxing oneself doesn't really make sense to me, but I'd rather not even give the game the option of of doing that to me. So either way, we've chipped off, I think, 2 times now this year. I think the first time I did it, or sorry, the time before I did it just now, I think I did it in January or February, so yeah, probably because we are showing a 200k year already. So that's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Wow. Yeah, it'll be very nice when we get decent vehicles with more capacity. The mail one's clearly keeping up, but the passenger one, I should actually check over here at the ridiculously large city how they're doing. I remember for the longest time, Meetown was very minor, and this station was pretty much always empty, whereas now it's got tons. And if we look, though, at one of the ones from this ridiculously large city, doesn't matter which one, yeah, they've got hundreds waiting, even though they were just drawn from. 1,000 there, and another 1,000 over there. Yeah, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. In fact, looks like we're going to chip away 3 this year. That's absolutely delightful. And this level of debt, I think, is the lowest it's been since the beginning of the game, when obviously you just start at 200k. But this is certainly the lowest it's been since at least episode about 10 or 15 or so. I don't remember exactly when I started the dead iceberg joke, but it ran for a very, very long time. Because it was a very, very scary thing, just like sailing a ship towards an iceberg. Very, very scary. So that's where that came from. But we are absolutely smashing away at it at an excellent clip. So even with a few vehicle renewals, we're still going to break 300 for the year. That's amazing. That means we're almost, well, pretty close to 400. About 382, looks 383, something like that. That's fantastic. Absolutely delightful, and welcome to 1885 for those watching the New Year's. Okay, where is Lind Grove, and is it near another bank? Is it near another city at all? No, then I'm not interested. Let's go back to watching here at Avonburg. And that will be fine. And we'll chip away a little bit more here in February. Well, if we keep up this pace, obviously not in this episode because I'm right about to put a cut in, but next episode I think, well, we'll definitely get below a mil. I'm not sure if we'll actually get it completely paid off, but we'll be awfully close. But at this point, we are rapidly approaching the 20-minute mark, so I'm going to put a cut in here. So until next time, folks, stay calm, and I hope you'll come and chill with me again in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye now.